And I guess we're live. Hey guys, hope everybody is doing well out there. In today's episode, we're going to talk about sublimation with the Sawgrass 400 printer. Sublimation printer to be exact. We're going to utilize Photoshop and Sawgrass's RIP software along with the heat press. I'm going to walk you guys through it step by step. I hope you guys can hear me in this mask. That might be a little bit better. But yes, we're going to walk through this together, step by step. I really hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let's take a look at the screen where we start on the Sawgrass website. All right, guys, we are back. So this is the graphic that we're going to be using. We're going to need to do a few things with it. The client would like to see it in on a white mask, just in a red print, or they want to see it on a red mask with a black print. So we're going to make two samples for them. First thing I want to do is, this is a JPEG. It's easier to work with a PNG. So I'm going to just go and open this in Photoshop. Sorry guys for the delay. My computer's a little slow today. Not sure why, but once we have our graphic open, we're going to click this little like icon and just unlock it. That's going to give us free range to work with the image. Secondly, what we're going to do is hit the magic selection tool right here and click somewhere on the white part. It's going to highlight all the white. You're just going to hit delete on your keyboard. That's going to remove the background. We do want to remove all of the white in the image. So we're actually going to click on all the white parts and then hit delete after each one. By pressing Command plus, we're going to zoom in. We want to be able to take out all of these small areas. There's one right here, and there's one right there. Perfect. I think we got it all. The best way to go about seeing if you got all the images is just click on, I'm sorry, I did that too fast. Click on the layer, double click the side of it. It'll open up the layer style. Hit color overlay. It'll overlay it in a color. If you select the color overlay, you can actually go in and change the color. So hit OK. Now if you just hit the color overlay button and toggle it on and off, you can see if you got all the areas, which I think we did. So we're good. We're actually going to save this red because we'll need it. So save as. We'll call it red car. We'll stick it on the desktop. We'll make it a PNG. Save that. Okay, once that is saved, we can get rid of the effect, and what we're actually going to do is we're going to do a few things. We're going to go into image size. We're going to just check on the size of the image. I like to work in 300 dpi or pixels per square inch. I obviously don't need it to be 12 inches, and this is the canvas that it's picking up on. We want our canvas to be, for this mask, so we have a little bit of bleed. I would say about 9 inches by 6.5. I want to give myself a little more room, so I'm actually going to just do 9 by 5, and it's automatically going to make it 7.1 in height, which is great for the mask that we're working with. Now you can hit Command and the minus button. It'll zoom it out. We're working in about 66% right now. Let me just center this out a little bit on the page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my rectangle tool. I'm going to select red. I'm going to put a red rectangle over it. Then I'm going to grab my rectangle here on the right hand side. I'm going to drag it below the original layer that we had of the image. Now guys, just so you can see, in the wording we have some white, so it's fairly simple to do. You click on the layer, you come over to the white with the magic select tool, and you just get rid of it. Click it, click it, delete. There's a little white piece here. Get rid of that. Actually, I don't mind this white shadow around the letters in the box. I think it'll give it a little bit of dimension. But that looks a lot better. So we'll save this as our red mask, so we know. Stick it on the desktop and make this one. Could be a JPEG because it's a solid colored image. Press save, highest quality, okay, awesome. So we don't need Photoshop anymore. We can close our preview of this. Here's our two files. We can take the original file and delete it. We no longer need it. Let's open up our Sawgrass Creative Studio. I like the old version. As of July 31st, Sawgrass has launched their new Creative Studio. I had some issues with it a few weeks back, and I reverted to using the old one, which has its limitations. The new one has a little bit more features, but honestly, I've been so busy lately, I haven't had a chance to really dive into the new version of their software and take a look at it. So the first thing you're going to want to do at the top is select a product. Sawgrass gives you the ability to, basically design on many of the items that you guys might be sublimating on. For what we're doing today, we just need a blank. So I'm going to scroll down right above. Where are you? Actually, it's right here below in the bottom. The last one is an 8.5 by 11. We're going to click on it. We want to work in horizontal. I like to work in grid with the grid on in inches. This doesn't print, so it's just kind of easier to center your image this way. You click on it, it opens up your artboard for the most part, or your paper. The next thing you want to do is click on images at the top, upload, name your file. So we're going to name it one, just because I want it to be at the top so it's easier for us to find. One red mask. I have the rights to use this image. The client gave me the rights to use it. So we're going to upload the file, open it, hit the upload button. I'm going to upload the second design right away so it's there and just easier for us to work with. So let's start with the red one. Wow, it's a huge file, so obviously we're going to need to shrink it down a little bit. If you look right here where my mouse is, right under products, it'll tell you what the image size is. So right now my image is 7.54 by 5.67. The mask that I'm using is about 6.5 inches in height at the largest portion. So I am actually going to just take one of these corners and I am going to stretch it. I want to give myself some extra room, so I am going to make it 7 inches, or right around 7 inches. Yep, perfect, 7 inches. I'm going to use the lines to just center out my image on the paper. And that's it. Let's print it and see what happens. So to print, you're actually going to go to the top, right next to your username. You'll see the print button. We'll call our file red mask. We only want to print one as a sample. I don't need a bleed line for this, so I won't be clicking it. Hit OK. It's going to process it. and say that it saved the product, saved the image, and we'll click here to print it. It will print, it will start to download, and it will automatically open it in the Sawgrass print manager. I am using the Sawgrass SG400. We're working on a polyester fabric mask. The mask has an outside shell, which is polyester, and an inside, which is cotton. The polyester is for sublimation, and the inside cotton is for comfort and softness on your face. The paper we're using is Texprint R. I always print in high quality. You can choose to print in high speed. Honestly, I've never done it, but I really like the high quality. The source is if you have multiple paper trays. I always leave it on auto. Layout, we're not going to do anything to the layout. This is our job. Colors. Now, colors are important. So I like to work on vivid. I also like my palette to be color sure. If we disable it, you can't really tell from the preview, but what color sure is actually doing is it's counting the actual different colors. So if you look use swatches, it's telling me that there's 2 swatches in this design, a red and a black, right? So that way I can be sure that all my colors are actually going to print. If I was using a, you know, super bright design that had many colors, I can make sure that it's actually reading those colors. You can also adjust color here, just to give you guys an idea. If we take out all the blue, nothing happens because there's no blue in this design. Let me just put this back to 0. But if we take out, and blue, by the way, is cyan. If we take out the magenta, nothing happens either. Well, that's pretty weird. Not sure why that is going on. Let me see. Got it. I was going in the wrong direction. So here we go. If I added a bunch of green, you can tell in the preview that there's now a green outline, and the image will print with more green, which we don't want, so we'll leave that to 0. Same thing if I did it in blue. It kind of made that white outline blue, which might look kind of cool, but for the sake of this tutorial, we'll just leave everything at 0, and you hit print. Once you hit print, it really is based on your computer. In my case, it takes about a minute or so to print. While it's printing, I will select this, delete this one, go back to images, grab our red car, take my, so that way the size stays consistent. I know that I needed 7 inches in height, so I'm going to make it 7 inches in height. We're gonna center it out. Awesome. And we're going to hit the print button again. This time we'll call it red car. We'll print it. Awesome. Minimize this. Guys, if you see the preview, this red line, which was actually a white line in the image, I didn't remove it because I am actually going to cut it down just a little bit, and it's not going to affect my mask. So to save time, I just didn't remove it, but technically you could have removed it in Photoshop. While this is printing, on another note, is if you don't have Photoshop, what can you do? Well, you can do a few different things. You can use an online version of Photoshop. There are a bunch. Just do a simple Google search for Photoshop online. And you will get like Photopea, Pixlr. I've actually used Pixlr in the past when I was outside and didn't have access to my computer but really needed to edit something. So Pixlr is a pretty cool one. There's a basic and a more advanced version. There's also a bunch, you know, free photo tool. Just Google it, you'll come up with a bunch. By the way, guys, if you haven't had a chance to visit my Instagram, it's at Printing on Main Street. Please go check us out. Give us a follow. Like a few of our pictures. We appreciate it. Leave a comment on any pictures that you guys like. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. So in a few seconds, as soon as these prints are done printing, we'll go over to the press and we'll start to sublimate our masks. Let's see what happens. See you guys in a moment. All right, guys, so we are back. We're going to turn on our heat press. We're gonna set our heat press to 400 degrees for 30 seconds. Oh, I'm going down instead of up because I am not paying attention. 400 degrees. Don't know that you guys can see that. I'll try to zoom in. Oh, there it is, 400 degrees. Temperature, we're gonna put up the clock to 30 seconds. Great, it's at 87 now. It's gonna take a few minutes to heat up. While it heats up, let's talk about these prints. So, this is what it prints like. And obviously I probably could have made it a little bit smaller, but I like to give myself, you know, a good amount of, you know, extra room to work with. Keep in mind, whatever is outside of the mask is not going to sublimate onto the mask, so it doesn't really matter. And I know what you're gonna say, but Vlad, you're wasting ink. I'd rather waste a little ink than screw up the job. So, another thing you guys might be thinking, and let me just turn this around so you guys can see it better. You might be thinking, but Vlad, why is it so murky? That's because sublimation ink is made for when you heat it up to let out the gases, and those gases then transfer to the sublimation product, and that's how you get sublimation. There's more that goes into it. I'm giving you guys the easy, short version. But the prints look really cool. Remember, I said this line doesn't bother me because it's not going to affect anything that we do. Let's grab a mask. Let's check it out. So, where are my masks? Here they are. By the way, shout out to Silky Socks for the mask. Yes, Silky Socks is the mask plug. Doing this stuff with one hand is not easy. But yeah, here we go. This is the mask. White side is the sublimation side. Black side is the face side. They come with a, well, this version comes with a filter pocket, so you can slide a filter in, or use it as is. That's totally up to you. So while the heat press heats up, we'll just give you a close-up of the mask. Super nice, very comfortable, extremely lightweight, very breathable. So once again, shout out to Silky Socks. What you're gonna need is a mask, a piece of parchment paper. Sorry for the mess, guys. I got a big delivery of masks yesterday, and I was taking pictures. So all the masks are all over the place. some of you might ask, how do I package my masks? So I package my masks after they're printed in a few different ways. The guys over at Silky Socks send over, I'm not sure that you can see this, but if you can, it's like a clear little pouch where the mask lays flat. I also use clear poly bags, small little Ziploc bags, so every mask comes individually wrapped. So I'm gonna let the heat press heat up. I'll see you guys in a second. All right, guys, so not sure if you can see what I'm doing. I'll pick up the camera in a second. This is our graphic. Our mask is on the platen. You need two hands for this part. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna lay down your graphic on top. You're gonna stick one finger on top. You're going to lift. You are just going to make sure that your graphic is straight. So what I like to do is just pinch the middle of the page, right? Gives me a little bit of a crease, so I know that that's the middle of the mask, right? I also do it the same thing the other way, right? So that I know that where my center is. So now I place it down, hold it, and just make sure that I am in the middle of the mask. That to me seems to be the easiest way. Not saying that it's the right way, just for me it has become the easiest way. All right, awesome. So for you guys that wanted to know, well, what happens if the paper moves while I am, trying to sublimate my masks? Well, I did two things. So for the first one, I took a little heat tape and just stuck it at the bottom and the top. For the second one, I did it in reverse. I actually taped the mask to the paper. So after we press these, we'll remove them and you guys can see the difference. Alright guys, so the heat press is heated up. Let's closer. Try to do this one-handed. Oh, perfect. We have 400 degrees, 396. For 30 seconds. By the way, guys, this is the Geonite Auto Open Clamshell 16 by 20 heat press. I like this heat press a lot. 3, 2, 1. Oh. So, I don't know about you guys, but let that focus. Come on, focus. That looks good to me. All right. See what I said? The gases, that's why you have this bleeding from the side. So let's see what happens to the other one that I taped the mask to. We're going to peel it off. We're going to just take a look. And it's so hard to record and multitask at the same time. I'm horrible at multitasking to begin with, but this, my friends, has been quite hard. Wow. So, let's get that in focus. Sorry guys that the frames look different. My GoPro died in the middle of me recording, so I had to switch to the DSLR. These masks are samples, so let me put one on so you guys can see it. Again, doing this with one hand is not going to be easy. But let me turn the camera around. Hope you guys can see it. Looks good. Not sure if you can see my reflection in the glass. No, you cannot. But it looks good to me. It looks good to me. Let's do a side by side comparison. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think both the red with the black logo and the white with the red logo came out really well. Shout out to Silky Socks one more time for the masks. The Sawgrass SG400 printer. If you guys enjoyed my content, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share with all your friends. I look forward to producing more content just like this. I hope to see you guys soon. Don't forget, leave a comment if you have any questions or if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Thank you guys so much. One more time, it's Vlad from Printing on Main Street. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys soon.